Hello, and welcome back to the next episode of Overcome Yourself, the podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole, and I'm so excited to be here today with Dr. Aumatma. And she is a fertility specialist. I'm gonna like destroy it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and let you take the wheel and let us know who you are, what you do, and who you help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a fertility specialist by training. I'm a naturopathic doctor, board certified and all that. And I coach business people on how to use their fertility and their cycles to optimize their businesses.
Amazing. Um, so one of the things that stood out to me when you said what you were overcoming yourself was overcoming the masculine side, the hustle,
Yes.
the busy. Can you talk to me a little bit about that and what that
hmm
means?
Yeah. So as a high achieving woman, I
Mhm,
mean, so many of us are, I feel like, are in these like we've went to a lot of school. We did a lot of things in our lives. Some people are in corporate. So for me, like I relied really heavily on that side. And to me, the masculine is like get shit done, right? Like I've
mhm,
got my to-do list, I've got a million things going on. I'm gonna manage my calendar from that perspective and like really dial it in. And as I became an entrepreneur and was growing through that, all of my coaches were also the same, right?
mhm,
Like, oh, you're not doing enough. You got to show up on social media like 16 times a day. So like all of these tools and tactics that I was learning were all also promoting the same thing, which is do
mhm,
more. You're not doing enough. You just need to keep busting it out. And, uh, like I feel like in that entrepreneurial spirit, there isn't a lot of space for, like, actually, I need to slow this down. And I can't post 16 times a day. So, what's the alternative? And when I started looking for those things, I felt like there wasn't a lot. And no one was talking about how to not hustle harder in order to grow your business. Um, so that's kind of how I came into this. And mm, the reflection that I saw of like being so in my masculine was my periods were a wreck. I felt burnt out. I was exhausted most of the time and took a hit on so many levels there that
mhm.
I didn't connect all of the pieces until started thinking about my fertility. And that was the moment where I was like, oh shit, like I'm doing this all wrong. And I had to overcome that piece and really find the sync with my feminine side in order to not just support my family that I wanted to have, but to also like run my business from a different place and not feel burnt out and exhausted all the time.
Right? Oh my God, because it's so stressful. I
Yes.
totally get it. I am so lucky. My coach, one of her teachings is rest is an income producing activity. That is one of the
Yes.
things that she drills into our head. And so if we're ever like, she's like, you need to rest. And that's how you're gonna make money is when you rest.
hmm
And
hmm
so what do you think about that? Rest as an income producing activity.
Absolutely. Like rest
Love
is
that.
so important. And I think that it's like for me, it was rest is great if I can, of course, like getting adequate sleep, optimizing that sleep so that I'm getting the most restfulness out of it, has all been important. And rest in the sense of how do you, so for me, the question became like, is there an optimal time for rest, right? Like you probably hear from the way that I talk is like everything's about optimizing because
Good.
because I just like I don't like to waste time, but I'm also aware that there are some key things that we're not doing if we're just always on the go.
Mhm.
So the rest piece for me has become really intentional rest around my menstrual cycle, like the couple of days leading up to it, and then the day of the first day, and then maybe like a couple of days after if I can. And those days of rest are actually days that I am getting the most downloads in terms of my
Mhm.
intuition, what's happening, like what's my guidance from my inner self in what I need to prioritize for that next month. So it's like like takes it to the next level in terms of like, yes, rest to regenerate and recuperate, but in that resting period, if you're timing it with your cycle or the moon, if you don't have a cycle, um, you can actually gain so much momentum through the rest.
I love that. I love that so much. And that takes being healthy and being on time, right? Like having regular periods, because I was
Hmm.
in a point in my life when I had no idea when that guy was going to show up or that girl was going to show up. And so,
Yep.
how could you take rest a few days before and a few days after? And so,
If you didn't
um,
know. Yeah.
yeah, and so like you have to focus on diet, you have to focus on resting, you have to focus on making sure that you're getting all the nutrients that you need, because that,
Hmm.
those are some of the things that I had to do. And then once all of those things are established, then of course you can actually plan out and be like, all right, so no calls on my calendars for these, for this week. We're not taking any calls. And
Yes.
then that helps you be more productive. Another one that I've learned is after like big events, big launches that I do, you have to take time off. Like Nicole, you have to rest
Hmm.
because I can't just
Hmm.
jump right back into doing a bunch of things, right? And so
Yeah,
it's
no.
planning for that and then
Mhm.
learning to be okay with it. This is not a
Yes.
waste of time. I love what you said. This is me recharging my batteries, like, getting back all my spoons. Like, if you're in the
Hmm.
in the disabled world, if you're a spoonie, you got to build up your spoons again.
Hmm.
But yeah, just really building that into your schedule. Um, and then when you are at work, you're performing better because you actually want to be there. You're excited to be there. You're motivated. You know what to do. You're not like dragging yourself through it.
Right.
I love that so much.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like, well said. I think when you're in launches or you're in those like really intense moments, it's
Mhm.
really important that you stack it with some time after to recuperate. And I find that with myself for a lot of times, like I go to a conference, which
Yes.
is often exhausting. It's a lot of like
Mhm.
output of energy, and I would like fly back late that the end of the conference, the day of, fly back home really super late, and then wake up the next day and like jump right into life. Kid,
Mm.
husband, cooking,
Yeah.
whatever.
And you know what
uh,
it is? It's very corporate America. Like you're expected, like you're not allowed to take days off. You have to be back at work. Like you go to, you fly somewhere for a conference for work and you come in
mhm.
Sunday at midnight and you're expected to be there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Monday morning at 9 a.m. Like in what world? Like have you ever traveled before? Like that's not how this works.
Right.
Um,
Yep, exactly. So that was one of the things that I noticed was like, wow, when there are these intense outputs of energy, especially as I tend to be more introverted than extroverted. So being in these like really intense energy spaces is like not, I enjoy it and it is exhausting. So
yeah,
it
it can be
is,
both.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So um what you said is so key is like building time for that recuperation after. Now, if you are able to predict your cycles, like you were saying, if you have irregular cycles, then things get a little bit more dicey. But if you have predictable cycles, then if you stack your launches around days that are
Mhm.
really optimal for it, depending on what your launch looks like, right? Like if your launch is open cart, closed cart, you've already recorded everything, it's pre-done for you, then you don't need to worry about it as much. But if your launch looks like I'm going live on Instagram for the whole week, every single day, then that's a really great way to time that around your ovulation period where you are most magnetic, right? Like this is the time where people see you and they're like, "Oh my God, who is she? I want to be near her." And it's like such a powerhouse time. I love that time every single month. And if we're able to use that energy that our bodies are naturally exuding, then guess what? We've just like 10x'd our launch because that's just who we are in that time period. So it's like a really ninja way, I think, to be able to time the things in your business to your menstrual cycle and being able to realize, like, oh, depending on how I'm doing this launch, it may mean like I want it during my extroverted time, right? Like ovulation, connection. We're really good at like I try to even time my sales calls, quote unquote, around ovulation time. It's like that week, give me all the appointments. I want like extra appointments. And and then during my menstrual time, don't give me shit because I'm gonna not be that pleasant to be around. And
Yeah.
I'll do it and I'll show up if I have to, but it's not as ideal. So if things can be timed to our cycle, then we're accelerating our businesses in ways that are not like you can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna like make X amount more money because I did it this way." But you know what? Like, if you start tracking and you're like,
Mhm.
hey, I timed this thing for my cycle, I timed it for the optimal time, I felt less burnt out because I had just more extensive energy. And then I had the time to recuperate because as soon as that phase was over, guess what? It was time for my period. I needed to rest anyway. And if you start thinking in this way, then what you're going to find is like, oh, I'm making more money. I feel more rested. I'm not burnt out. And it's all like working together instead
Right.
of I'm constantly churning and I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel just trying to keep it all together.
Yeah, it's actually getting to enjoy the journey, as they say, right? Like that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my low, well, one of my low points, I was like, either we're not gonna do this at all, but if I'm gonna live, I wanna live. I wanna like enjoy the time that I have here. Like I don't want to be dragging myself through this thing we call life just for what?
Mm-hmm.
Like just to be miserable? No. And so I think this is so important as we look, because sometimes, coaches are like, plan out your year. And you're like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But when we look at being able to see these cycles, that throughout the month, throughout the year, and being able to say, all right, this is going to be like an active time. Like I can host a summit. Like immediately when you said
Mm-hmm.
events, I was like, I host summits. Like being able to
Mm-hmm.
take the time to do the lives, before the
Mm-hmm.
event. And I can take some time, during my ovulation time, and then I can do all the lives with all the speakers and go in their groups. And then I can like go back in my cave. Right? And then
Yes, yes,
the next month we
exactly.
go live and we do the summit and then I can go back in my little cave. Yeah, I love that. And that's such an easy way to be able to look at things and be like, "Oh, okay, like this is like, week by week, like this is what is going to be best for me to do
Mm-hmm.
based on the science." Like we got to look it up because I'm sure I have a client who does she's broken down the cycles throughout the day. So like what are your peak working times and what are your peak like resting times? So like everything from the micro to the macro. Like
Mm-hmm.
we can learn how to just like go with the flow. Like that's what it means. Go with the flow, right?
The ultimate flow of our
I love
lives.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. All right. Can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit about how gratitude plays a part in all of
Mm.
this?
Oh gosh, I love gratitude. That's
Me
such a
too.
great question.
Thank you.
Uh, I think that gratitude is very important and when I first heard about it, I feel like it was Oprah or something like 25 years ago, right? She was talking about gratitude and like have a gratitude journal. And it never worked for me. I've tried so many journals, and that's just not how I do gratitude. So,
Okay.
what has been really eye-opening and like as I've been going through this journey, what I have realized and now has been confirmed by one of my mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, is that we need to feel it. It's not a it like it's an actual emotion, and
Mhm.
we've all felt it at different points in our lives, right? Like we have that like overflow of gratitude that sometimes like manifests in tears and like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Um, those are us actually feeling emotionally what that emotion is about. However, if we can take that emotion, that level of intensity that we feel in specific moments, and if we can feel it for something that hasn't happened yet, which is Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, right? Is like, how do we feel this future gratitude without feeling a lack of? Like, we are already living that future now with the
Mhm.
emotion of gratitude. And that is like the magic sauce for creating and manifesting from a place of like, this is truly aligned with my spirit. And I'm like bringing forth the future with this emotion of gratitude. So that's what I've been practicing lately. And I love it. It's like, it lights me up because it's very different than like, write down the things you're grateful for and everyone can make a list. And it's great if that's like if that works for you, cool, keep doing it. But for me, like I really had to get with this like deep feeling of what that is and making it present in my life right now. Not like I'll be grateful for this thing when I have it, but I'm grateful now and I know that it's coming.
That's amazing. And I'm glad you brought that up because the writing the three things down that you're grateful for, that's like level one, right? And I do advise that my clients do that if they don't have a gratitude practice in place. And a lot of times when people are burnt out, one of the things I've learned that my clients brought to my attention is the little area in your brain where we feel gratitude. If you haven't used it in a while, it's kind of like a muscle that atrophies. It doesn't work.
Mm,
But the
mm,
only way that we can get it to start working again is to start using it. And so we
mm-hmm,
start with writing down three things to adjust our perspective. But
mm-hmm,
then what you're talking about is that's like where we're going with it. And that's quantum physics. That's straight up quantum physics. Like it
mm-hmm,
already exists. You already have it.
mm-hmm.
You have to bring it into your existence by seeing it, by recognizing it, by believing that it's there. Like I know it sounds weird, but but like you can go read
It
the science,
does.
it's there. I'm
Yeah.
actually reading a book. I don't have it here, but that's exactly what it's talking about. And
Yeah.
gratitude, it really amplifies that. And so when we get to the next level, right, now that we've got our, like our sit-ups, our push-ups by doing our three things, now we start feeling it. And
Yeah.
it really is it's just next level. And then when you're walking around in the world, what I want my clients to start doing is shifting their perspective where they're walking around and they're like, oh, I'm so grateful for the sunlight. Oh, I'm
Mhm,
so grateful for this dinner. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for how beautiful this looks. I'm so grateful for
mhm.
you. And it's just coming out of overflow. It's just happening because you're learning to focus on it. And then you're going to get to this level and it really just feels like like something next level.
Yeah.
And you really start creating the future. So, how can we keep in touch with you?
A really good place to connect is actually on Instagram at Holistic Fertility Doctor. Send me a message. I'm super active on there. I'm happy to chat with whatever. And I would love to hear what people think about this and how you're applying it in your life. That would be amazing. Send me a message. And then if you want to stay in touch through, I do have a newsletter that we send out every week. So if you go to holisticfertilityinstitute.com, that's our website. And then you can sign up for our newsletters, get some of our free downloads that are on there. And we would love to stay in touch.
Perfect. Yay. And all of those links, as you guys know, are going to be available down in the show notes. All right. So, any final tips? Like, what's the big juicy tip? Oh, that was, I guess, was pun intended, that you have for us, that you want to leave us with here?
Uh, just I think we talked about rest a lot. So finding the ways to optimize your sleep. Optimal is like turn off your screens an hour before bed. Do not be in front of your computer working, which is like, I know, hard to do. And then sleep at least like 6 to 8 hours. Everyone's different, whatever is your optimal. And then when you wake up in the morning, get sunlight onto your eyeballs within the first 30 minutes of waking is the ideal, because the sun helps to reset your clock and it tells your body, hey, it's wake up time. Wake up that brain, wake up the rest of the body. So making sure that you get sunlight in the morning is really ideal.
I'm just laughing because like when it's like in the morning and I see the sunlight, I'm like a vampire. I'm
You're like, ah, go away.
No, no, but I'll make a point to open up my window and just be like, "Hello, world." But I just immediately thought of that, but okay, all right. That
Yeah.
should be super helpful, for me at least. I mean, thank you so, so much. This has been absolutely incredible. And yes. No, we covered everything. I just wanted to make sure. So,
Yeah.
we will see you guys next time on the next episode of Overcome Yourself, the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Amazing. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.